This is Jaron.
And this is Billy.
And we're back with another edition of Retro Review.
This time we are reviewing the next in the Friday the 13th series, which is Friday the 13th Part 7.
The New Blood.
And we hope you enjoy this. We put the theme song again to the beginning of this podcast. Sorry about the annoying...
noises.
Yeah.
It's not really music.
It's not the best one. It's actually the worst theme song. They put very minimal effort into making that track.
Well, there's a good reason for that.
Why?
Well, they only had a budget of $2.8 million.
Yeah, but the other films only had a little over $2 million on the other ones, right? And they were making like $30 million box office.
This one made less than 20. It made
this movie
$1 million.
I'm going to go ahead and go on record and say that this movie is the worst thing ever, but it's not as bad as the last one.
How is it the worst thing ever, but not as bad as the last one?
The last one was just horrible all around, in my opinion. This one had a little bit of a twist, but it had a totally different feel about it. So it's almost like I couldn't even compare it to the other Friday the 13th.
Again, there's another good reason for that.
Yeah, what?
They had high expectations for this movie. They wanted to make this a higher standard film. Like, they wanted to, show people that the Friday the 13th franchise wasn't a joke, that they could do it right.
Yeah.
And they wanted to do a crossover film between Friday and Nightmare on Elm Street, but that wouldn't happen until 2003.
Yeah, I remember that movie.
So instead, after having several failed concepts, the screenwriter, Daryl Haney, suggested an idea, basically Jason versus Carrie. Which is why, yes, you heard that right, which is why in Part 7, The New Blood, it's Jason versus a girl with psychokinetic abilities.
Yeah, and James wasn't kidding in the last few podcasts where he was saying that after 6 is where it's pretty much just go, Jason, go. It's just him killing in all manner of different ways. And
not a single redeemable character except for maybe the final girl. I mean...
You don't think anybody else was redeemable in this one?
Maybe the guy that she was with.
How about this, listeners? We'll leave it up to you at the end of this episode. Let us know if you think if any of these people are worthy of staying alive. If they committed any of the cardinal sins of the horror genre.
Well, I mean, I told you, the only other girl that might have survived screwed herself by putting on makeup.
And that's just horrible.
Well, I mean, that's the sign of a whore, I guess. I mean, she put on makeup and then he killed her. I don't know what else did. Yeah. That's the only correlation I can make.
Yeah. Oh, and also we're gonna try and make up for the horrible theme song at the beginning of this by giving you a little treat there at the end.
Yeah.
So stick around after it's over. You might be entertained. Who knows? But let's jump into this plot, James. So this has basically nothing to do with the last movies. The only thing that's similar is where Jason's at.
Yes.
Yeah.
Chained to a rock at the bottom of Crystal Lake.
Yes. And that's because Tommy did that thing where he set the ring of fire around the boat and
fought him in the water and got him chained up.
Yeah.
But that was the last we'll ever hear or see of Tommy.
Yeah. Tommy's gone. Forget about him. He never existed.
They never bring back any of the final survivors.
No.
Which is kind of sad. Especially with this movie, as we'll see as we get into it.
Yeah.
But this movie starts with an undead, decomposing Jason in the bottom of the lake, as we said, where a young little girl, how old would you say she is?
She looked probably like 7 or 8 years old.
Yeah. Well, this little girl, Tina, is witnessing her alcoholic, and this is a good point, alcoholic father physically abusing her mother.
Yeah, you hear him slap her.
Yeah.
And
she runs away, and she gets on this boat that's tied to a dock at the edge of the lake.
Yeah.
Her dad comes out on the dock and tries to get her to come back in, and she's mad. She's super mad at him. She's shaking with rage.
Yes.
To the point where she...
And she's out in the lake at this point.
Yeah.
She had untethered the boat and
started to float away.
Yes.
He's like, Tina, come back, come back.
And he's sitting on this pier that's roofed. It's like a roofed pier. Mm-hmm. And I guess it's their backyard, their dock.
Yeah.
Yeah, they live on a lake, so.
But she's so mad that this unlocks her telekinetic abilities, which causes the entire pier to shake, crumble, and kill her father.
Yeah.
Again, her alcoholic, abusive father.
Yeah. So naturally, she feels guilty about it and carries it with her into adulthood, where she goes to a mental institution.
Yep. because it wasn't her getting rid of a bad guy. She killed her daddy, who she loved very much, evidently.
Yeah. I mean, I have mixed feelings about it because, I mean, like, I guess you could still care about him being your father, but at the same time, like...
If he's an alcoholic, abusive guy, I don't think you'd be like...
Not a big loss, girl.
Oh, no, I killed him.
Yeah. So now she's a teenager, and she's under the care of...
Dr. Cruz.
Yes, which looks a lot like every other Italian actor.
Yeah. Like, I know I've seen him in other things. I just can't think of what. But yeah, so she's under the care of Dr. Cruz, who's her psychiatrist. And as part of her treatment, he decides it's a good idea to bring Tina and her mom back to the cabin where they were at when Tina killed her dad accidentally.
Which is coincidentally also Crystal Lake.
Yeah, of course.
Which is no longer Forest Green now? What
they changed it back to Crystal Lake. Dude,
this town needs to get their priorities together.
You want answers that I don't have because they don't care.
I mean, yeah, that's my main problem with these latter installments of these films is like the older ones, they seem to actually kind of care about a little bit of continuity, and now they're just throwing it all out the window just for different kicks and stuff, in which I'm cool if they want to do like an anthology thing like you said that they were originally going to do, but it's not. It's just getting increasingly more ridiculous in the same setting with the same killer, same everything. You know?
I'll put you in the writer's room for this movie.
Okay.
Woo! I got an idea, guys. How about Jason versus Carrie?
Oh, God.
That's the movie. There is no plot. It's just Jason versus a girl with psychic powers. And after a particularly upsetting session with Dr. Cruz, Tina...
Where she's trying to...
Move a matchbook. Not only does she move it, she then makes all the matches burst into flame.
Yeah.
She's got powers that she needs to learn how to control.
Yeah, but see, Dr. Cruz, who's posing as her psychiatrist, that's trying to like help her cope with her past trauma
and get her over the guilt,
is also trying to get himself, I guess, famous over
discovering Carrie. Yeah,
basically, yeah. So there's a little bit of what did you say? Subterfuge. Is that
subterfuge?
Yeah, subterfuge. Is that how you say it?
I don't know.
Whatever. Anyway, there's a little bit of conniving going on, as we say in the South.
So Tina runs to the end of the dock crying because she's like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be here. I killed my father here.
Yeah.
I'm fucked up inside. I don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah.
And because her emotions, as we learn, are at an all-time high, she accidentally resurrects Jason from the bottom of the lake.
Yeah, by breaking the chain and making bubbles.
Superheating it. She superheats the water, I guess. Like, turns it into primordial ooze.
What? No, I don't think that's how it works.
Yeah, dude.
No,
I think that's the bubbles, is her heating the water like
I thought
like
the
a
bubbles
sauna.
was to lift him up. I don't know.
I don't know, dude.
Yeah.
The chain breaks.
It's
he
just
comes up out of the lake.
Smoke and mirrors so you don't see the
He little
mask.
mermaids. he little mermaids out of the lake.
Yeah.
And then she passes out, only to be awoken by her mother and Dr. Cruz, with no sign of Jason anywhere near her.
Yeah. Dr. Cruz was played by Terry Kaiser. Do you know?
That sounds familiar.
Which, I don't really recognize any of the names in this film.
And you never... Kevin Bacon is like the only name from any of these movies.
And Kane Hodder as Jason Voorhees.
Yes, because that's a good point we should bring up right now. Kane Hodder plays Jason Voorhees. A lot of fans of this franchise love him the most because he's the only actor to play Jason more than once.
Yeah.
He will be Jason in this one, 8, 9, 10.
Reboot?
No.
He's not in the reboot.
They changed when they did Freddy vs. Jason, and then when they did the reboot, they went with another actor named Derek Mears.
Yeah.
Who's also really good.
By the way, if anybody wants to watch this movie, it is incredibly ridiculous, but its runtime's pretty short. It's only 88 minutes long.
Yeah, it moves. It moves. It's a tight 88 minutes.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff happens. It'll keep your attention, at least.
Oh, we shouldn't forget to mention also, there's a residence next door to the Shepherds.
Yeah.
Which, of course, is a group of teens, or camp fodder, as we'll call them
I guess
now.
they're campers?
No, they're just staying
or
at the
did they
cabin.
live there? Does somebody live there?
It was one of the teens who was there. It was their uncle's cabin.
That's right.
Because he's all obsessed about them keeping it clean and bringing their own food.
Yeah.
Because he's getting it from his uncle.
Yeah, that's right.
But they're there to throw a birthday party for Michael, who hasn't shown up yet.
Yeah.
And the group includes Michael's cousin, Nick, who really, they should have made him his brother. because they're so close. It's just, I mean, I guess some people are super close to their cousins, but like, it's like he has a picture of his cousin in his wallet close. That's just, I'm not used to that, I guess.
Yeah.
But his cousin Nick, the preppy Russell, his girlfriend Sandra, Ben and his girlfriend Kate.
All of these girls are trying to sleep with Nick. Nick is the jock, but he's not Kate, a rapey McRapeface.
No, for once there is no rapey McRapeface. There isn't a character in this movie that's like very sexually aggressive.
There are exploited, characters who exploit like Dr. Cruz, but
we're sexist.
Why?
There is a sexually aggressive person.
Who?
Rich bitch.
Oh, Melissa, is that what?
Yeah. Rich bitch, Melissa.
It was Melissa?
Yeah. Now, we call her rich bitch, and I understand that's a term that some people might not like. But you gotta understand, she is like stereotypical, wealthy, and very bitchy. I think it's a fitting title.
And you'll realize why we don't hold her in high regard later in this plot. So
she's kind of rapey McRapeface, because she's going above and beyond to try to get
using someone for her means, yes.
Yeah.
So, but we'll get to that. So, what happens to Michael and his girl as they're heading to the surprise birthday party for Michael?
Well, as they're doing that, Tina gets a vision of Jason killing some guy. Because evidently with resurrecting him, now she also shares a psychic link with him.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. I don't know why. That doesn't make any sense. But again, this whole movie's plot was, I got an idea, guys.
God.
I'm telling you, it's true. So, as that's happening, Jason kills Michael in real life along with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Pretty brutally, like stabs Michael's girlfriend through the throat into the tree.
With a metal spike.
Yes. Pulls it out, but then instead of doing that to Michael, literally punches a hole and leaves a gaping hole in Michael's back.
Yeah. And then he does something else to him, right? He punches a hole in his back.
And then he stabs him with the metal spike.
That's right. And then he stabs him.
I would think a giant gaping hole in your back would kill you pretty quickly.
Was he not the one? He was the one that got the spike throw. Remember, he threw the spike, hit him in the back, and then when he got the spike, he picked him up by the spike.
Oh, and then ripped
punched
him out.
No, and then punched a hole in his back.
And that's what killed him.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And that's how it killed him. Yeah. It just increasingly gets crazy and crazier and crazier. We mentioned in the last podcast, whenever he killed that one girl in the RV, was it RV? It was a trailer. It was something like that. And he pushed her head against the wall so hard that it caused an imprint of her face on the outside of the... Yeah, it didn't make any sense. So you can tell his powers have gotten so strong, despite the fact that he's been underneath the lake. Goku. Yeah, he's went Super Saiyan at this point.
Pretty much.
Yeah, he is a berserker level. Awesome.
So Nick, obviously, who's our good guy, immediately likes Tina, much to Melissa's discomfort. She doesn't like it.
Yeah.
The trailer for this movie is great because it ends and then it shows you a house blowing up and it cuts to Melissa in a completely unrelated scene looking over her glasses and then saying, well, there goes the neighborhood.
It was ridiculous.
But anyway, so Jason kills Michael and Jane and then another couple that was camping in the woods.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was the one that was in the tent waiting for him to come back with some
and ravage her like
fires.
an animal.
Yeah, but that wasn't in the movie. That was only in the trailer.
Oh, that's right.
We watched the trailer before, and she was like, come and get me, you big hunk of a man. And then it shows Jason ripping through the tent. But actually,
Jason's a hunk of man.
Yeah, but that scene didn't happen in the final movie. She was just...
well, that line didn't occur. Yeah, everything else did.
Yeah, everything else did.
But he kills them, and so Tina goes off to look for her mom with Nick and tells him her backstory of how he's a guy trying to get his life together and he shouldn't mess around with her because she's literally fresh out of a mental institute. No, she doesn't tell him about her powers right then.
No, but she does tell him that she's out of a mental institution. And then he immediately kisses her afterwards. And then a romantic relationship ensues anyway, regardless of whatever she was just talking about.
Exactly. So. But while that's all happening, Melissa is eavesdropping. She's creeping around, and they make you think it's Jason for a second, and then they show you that it's her, and she hears Tina say that she's fresh from a mental institute.
Yeah.
Which is important for later, and why we call her rich bitch.
Yeah.
So while that's happening, Jason kills the other teens, starting with Russell and Sandra, who go to the lake for a swim.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan was a little disappointed with this movie because we never see any boobs
until
like the very end.
No, you see a few. You see a few boobs.
Only one girl's, dude.
Yeah. Well,
2 times with the same girl. Like, we don't see it when she goes skinny dipping.
We see the redhead girl and the dude sleeping together because she gets stoned for the first time later on. We see hers.
That was her sin.
That was her sin. But the other girl, they mimic Jaws with this one, the swimming scene.
Oh, yeah.
So you've got rich dude who's there. He's,
Russell.
Stereotypical rich dude. He's got the sweater tied around his neck, and he's got the plaid shirt and the short, well, kind of like short shorts.
For some of our
very
more well-seasoned
looking
listeners, you might expect him to be like, Lovey, which of course is a bad Houston Howell.
He looks like a Chad. There you go. There's the stereotype. Chad.
Perfect.
Chad.
He is Chad.
He is a Chad, but his name is Russell. Big confusion there, but anyway.
But while Sandra is swimming, Jason takes an axe straight to the face, just and kills him.
Yeah, kills Russell. And then when she comes up out of the water, she sees his body laying there.
But no Jason.
No,
she...
And then she sees his body and starts screaming.
And then out of nowhere,
Jason's in the water already.
Right next to her, just pops up out of the water like, ha!
Yeah, like how did she not notice that? But they did rip off Jaws in that scene because they did the underwater shot, like looking up while she was swimming, like, you know.
With her legs kicking, and then all of a sudden, oh no, her ankle's grabbed.
Yeah.
And then it's Jason just pulling her under and stabbing her, I'm guessing.
Mm-hmm.
So,
her body does show up later, too.
Yes. Maddie goes looking for David, but finds Russell's body. While she runs for help, Jason attacks her in a nearby barn and kills her with a sickle. Yeah. That was the girl who also liked... Oh, who was it that she liked?
She liked Nick as well.
No, David. She liked the stoner guy. She and her friend
the dorky
Robin,
girl? Or are you talking about the dorky girl?
The dorky girl whose name
she puts on
Maddie.
makeup, and you said that was her sin. She ends up,
I mean, I'm sorry,
she
but
hides
like,
in
it's
a
the
barn,
only
did
thing
you
she
say?
does.
Yeah. And she crawls under the wall just in time and hides on the underside of the wall, and you can see Jason through the cracks, and she's kind of like hiding from him, and she sees him through the cracks like walk back out, so she crawls back under to go back inside.
That was her mistake.
Yeah, so Jason, he came back inside, and he had a sickle in one hand, and he punched his hand through the other side, grabbed her, and then punched his hand with the sickle through the other side,
and then stabbed
her in the gut and everything. So as you can see, he just, punching through solid walls to get, walls don't stop Jason. Windows don't stop Jason.
Nothing stops Jason. Jesus Christ, it's Jason Voorhees.
Yeah.
That's the new meme.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that.
But then we have Ben and his girlfriend Kate having sex in a van.
Mm-hmm.
And while they're getting busy,
the van starts shaking.
So they think it's
very
Michael.
Reminiscent of the porta potty in the fifth movie, and the one before that
in the third movie.
With Harold.
For once, we didn't have somebody shitting scene either. That was nice.
So the van starts shaking,
and they think
a little
it's Michael.
more than usual.
Yeah, because they're. That's so bad, but yeah, they're getting busy in the van, and so it's shaking, and then it starts shaking in an opposite pattern, I should say.
Yeah.
And so they think it's Michael, so they get party horns, and they pop out the back, but there's nobody there.
Yeah.
Ben tries to go find him, and he only finds Jason.
Yeah, and he gets killed with a... what does he get killed with?
He just gets killed. I think he gets... throat cut, stabbed?
Is that no? He grabs the bottom and the top
and he
of his
just literally
head,
crushes his head like a sandwich.
which is the third victim that he's crushed their head and killed.
And we saw real blood with this one though. This was actually pretty gruesome.
Well, not real blood, but I know.
But yeah, we saw some blood with it. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, the actor himself had.
We
his
mentioned
head crushed.
noise. We mentioned noisemakers.
Yeah, so the girl.
I'm so sorry.
What was her name? Sandra? What was
her name is Kate.
Kate. She gets a noisemaker through the eyeball. And that's how she dies.
But that's
and
not
it makes
all.
a honking noise when it goes in her head.
Wow. Right into the eye. It was bad. It was bad. This isn't a good movie, guys.
No, it's just body fodder.
Oh, the other couple, we forgot to tell them how the girl dies.
What?
That he kills in the woods. It's one of the best kills of the whole franchise. She's in a yellow sleeping bag. She covers up with it to hide. Jason literally lifts it.
This is the girl that was with Michael.
Yes. While she's wriggling and screaming, and he picks it up and bam! Just slams it into a tree and kills her instantly.
Yeah, just beats her against a tree inside her sleeping bag. Yeah.
Yep. That was pretty cool. That's the best.
That was the girl that was with Michael, who were on the way to the surprise birthday party. This is pre all the other killings.
Yeah.
Michael and his girl was the first two to get killed.
Pretty much.
Yes.
Actually, the first one to get killed is Tina's dad. But anyway, scary girl with powers we don't understand. So anyway, we get back. Jason kills David, slices up Eddie.
Yeah.
Robin finds David's body and is thrown out a window to her death, as Ryan said.
Yeah, first body thrown through a window. So that makes every single movie up to this point, windows have been shattered by something getting thrown through. I bet
the home renovation business in Crystal Lake is just booming. Have you got a broken window due to a psychopathic murderer? Then call me, Jebediah Johnson, Home Repair.
I'll fix all your windows.
I'm telling you, man, it wouldn't surprise me. They got to be doing something.
Yeah.
So anyway, Robin finds David's body. She's thrown out the window. Jason then goes after Dr. Cruz and Tina's mom because they are looking for Tina, who's run away.
Yeah.
Because Tina overhears them saying that he's going to have her committed to the hospital permanently.
But she also sees a vision of her mother getting killed by Jason. But actually, that's after. Yeah, she runs away. She takes the car.
Yeah.
And then as she's driving down the road, she
sees Jason standing in the middle, literally killing her mother.
Yeah.
She crashes the car.
But it was just a vision.
Mm-hmm.
So she crashes the car and then takes off in the woods.
Yep. Which causes Dr. Cruz and her mom to go after her. Oh, boy. This is where it gets real sad.
Why?
Well, because remember how in part 4, the mom just disappears and we don't know what happened? Like, he did kill her and that's in a deleted scene, but they never show it in the movie?
Yeah.
They show us what happens to this mom. Dr. Cruz, the coward, to prevent himself being killed by Jason, literally grabs the mother, Amanda.
And uses her as a human shield.
So that she gets killed.
Yeah. What a dick.
Yep. But don't worry. Jason kills him with a pole chainsaw.
Yeah. But that's only after he runs back into Tina and is telling her to go back to the cabin because her mother's there.
And then she realizes he's covered in blood and goes, "Oh my God, what have you done?"
Yeah, and then he's just like, well, she's gone. And so she freaks out and runs away from Dr. Cruz because she doesn't trust the guy.
Why would you?
Yeah, I mean, he's a slimy man.
She's getting more and more control of her powers, though, as this goes on. But anyway, Tina finds her mother's body and uses her powers to electrocute Jason and to crash the house.
Yeah,
in a puddle. And she runs to the house with Nick. He comes in. Nick and Tina try to tell Melissa, who's somehow still alive at this point, about it. And she tries to leave the house, but she opens the door. Jason's standing there and boom, axe to the face.
Yeah, I do want to say, though, because we kind of glossed over it, the whole Melissa being rich bitch kind of terrible person is because she sleeps with, or she is going to bed with Stoner guy.
No, she's going to bed with Eddie, who is a burgeoning sci-fi writer. He wants to write a sci-fi
He's
novel.
very eccentric, kind of weird.
Writer.
But he just blurts out just random stuff. He's just a little out there.
But she makes him think she wants him when what she really wants to do is make Nick jealous.
Yeah. And she ends up telling him about it and everything.
She's like, sorry, you just don't turn me on. You're not good enough. Sorry.
Yeah. And so he's like, okay, well, whatever.
But he handles it pretty well. He's like, listen, I've faced rejection from some of the finest sci-fi magazines in the continent of the United States.
He's like, way to dog yourself again, man. Just hit yourself when you're down.
Nothing. Well, no, he basically took the power back. He's like, I don't care if you don't want me.
Total power move.
I'm going to take a shower. I got a date with a soap on a rope. That was his line. I've got a date with a soap on a rope.
Yeah.
I wonder what he's going to do with that soap.
And so that's how Melissa dies. She gets
axe to the face.
Axe to the face.
And this is where Tina starts using her powers to cause Jason to crash through a staircase.
Yeah.
Hang him with electrical wires, electrocute him.
Yeah.
They get out of the house and Jason Jason literally has the whole house like brought down on him.
Yeah.
Well, the front porch, it just crashed.
We'll just kind of explain how the telekinetic stuff is working inside the house. It's just Nick, Tina, and Jason. So they start going up the stairs to run away from Jason. Jason's following them up there.
Yep.
And so there's a dangling light on, one of those chains or whatever at the top. So she uses her powers to throw this light into his face so he falls backwards down the stairs. And when he hits the stairs,
which he had been stomping up.
Yeah. He falls backwards, hits the stairs, and goes through them down underneath the stairs. So then they go back down the stairs and basically just kind of walk carefully over the hole that he made and go back downstairs into the living room. And then
all of a sudden,
Kool-Aid Mans.
Oh no. Oh yeah, Jason's through the wall.
Yeah, he just bursts through the wall adjacent to the stairs. And then she takes
she holds him with her mind.
Yeah.
She crushes his hockey mask into his head where it looks like it's making brain ooze out of his head.
Yeah.
It cracks in half and
and
exposes
then you see
his zombie face.
Yeah, it's
pretty gruesome.
Yeah, very different looking from the other movies.
Well, because he's a zombie.
Well, yeah, true. But you see that happen, and then she takes a cord from the ceiling
and wraps it around his neck and hangs him for a little bit.
Yeah, and then blows the floor underneath him open and then drops him down into a basement underneath the living room. And that's where Jason is there. So
Nick
she
gets
goes
out of the house.
Yeah. Well, no, she goes back over to Nick, and that's whenever he comes up out of the floor and grabs her.
That's right. And they start fighting in the basement where she douses everything in gasoline.
Yes.
Everything.
Mm-hmm. And then lights it on fire with a furnace.
Yeah, she makes the door open, and then she can bend fire like something out of Avatar.
Yeah, it just starts shooting fire out of this oven, and it starts catching everything on fire. So they run out of the house because everything's on fire.
And then the house.
They run to the dock, dramatically just jump down cover up, get down, and then you see the entire house explode, which makes no sense.
Because what were they breathing in propane gas? Why is the house that flammable?
Yeah, the whole house would have to be just full of gas for that.
But Ryan and I had made a joke earlier while watching it that Dr. Cruz was gaslighting Tina, and I said
she just gaslit the whole house.
No, I said, you know why it blew up? He was literally gaslighting her. He was literally having gas fumes permeate the house. That's why she was having visions and shit. But so they think they're safe.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, they're not, because Jason comes back again.
Yeah.
And knocks Nick away into the boat, knocks him out.
Yeah.
And Tina's standing there, and she doesn't know what she's going to do, and she just tries one more time with the powers.
Now, let me tell you how I think this part should have ended before we get to what actually happens. What should have happened is, she's at the dock, pretty much the same place that she had killed her father a long time ago whenever she was, just 7 or 8 years old. So what should have happened, because this is how she brought, Jason back, was by, snapping the chain and making him rise up. What should have happened is she should have used her telekinetic powers to make the chain come up out of the water and grab Jason around his neck and just pull him under. Yep. And that's how it should have ended.
But no, that's very good.
No, they took that concept and cranked it up to 11 on the ridiculous scale.
Ooh, I got a better ending for you.
Yeah.
What's that ending? I got 5 words. Non-decomposed water zombie dad.
So she basically has her father, who is somehow resurrected underneath the lake.
Yep.
I guess his body was never recovered after she killed him. Whatever. Let's just ignore all of those
Not decomposed in any way.
No.
Looks like he's just wet. Just soaking wet.
Yeah, so he jumps up through the pier with a chain.
Grabs his leg, knocks him down, wraps that chain around Jason's throat, and then drags him under the water.
Yeah. So.
Never to be seen again.
Yeah.
Non-decomposed water zombie dad saves the day, and then just gone forever.
And nobody mentions it ever again.
Nope.
Her and Nick are taken away in an ambulance, and somebody, one of the workers there, when they were hosing down, I guess, the adjacent woods, got on fire from the exploding house.
I thought they were just putting out the fire of the house.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. But they were putting out the fire, and they find, Jason's broken mask in the wreckage, and then, it just fades to black.
As Jason's whispers can be heard just very faintly.
Yeah. So you know Jason's not dead. He's a zombie.
not.
I mean, he's indestructible at this point.
You know what the problem is?
The problem is bringing back the father. That's the problem with this film.
No,
that's
you
the
know-
biggest
Okay,
problem.
no. The biggest problem is they have now told us that in this universe,
Yeah.
there are people with psychokinetic powers. There's Dr. Xavier somewhere in the world, and we're never gonna hear about it again.
Yeah.
That's kind of a big deal. She has Carrie-like powers. Why is that never gonna be mentioned
And
again?
she's alive.
Yeah.
And still existing in that universe, whatever it is. I mean, clearly the
maybe
movies
the
are
events
tied.
maybe the events of this movie have like helped her get over her grief.
Yeah.
She resurrected non-decomposed water zombie dad, so
I'll say also they brought back the callbacks.
yeah, that was nice. I actually liked that.
Yeah, so there was a lot at the beginning
So,
of the film.
how
There was a
about
lot
this?
of montages of like things that
Let's
happened
talk
in
about the
previous
things we
films.
liked about this movie.
Okay, go.
I liked the fact they brought back the montages. I missed those. Mm-hmm. I have to admit, as crazy as it is, I love that this plot sounds like a cocaine-fueled drug addict's dream.
Yeah.
Jason versus Carrie. Non-decomposed water zombie dad. Like, it's ridiculous. But like I told you with the last one, don't think of these movies anymore as like a 4-course meal. Think of it as Little Caesars Italian cheesy bread. The J. Raymond Billy Show brought to you by Little Caesars Italian cheesy bread.
Shit.
I would die for that sponsorship. Are you kidding me?
Just that one item.
Yep. Don't need their pizza. Just their Italian cheesy crazy bread.
Oh, God.
It's delicious. But think of a movie as low grade cheesy bread, and you'll enjoy it. Come on, there's got to be some things you enjoyed.
The kills were creative, but a little too over the top. Like, there's things that I like, but it's like I like them, and then they took them too far and made it to where I didn't like them. You know?
Sleeping bag kill. That's
Like,
pretty cool.
Sleeping Bag Kill was brutal. Yeah, that was a good one. And the sickle one was cool if he didn't just punch through the wall to get to her. The Noisemaker one was too stupid.
Honk.
Yeah. I mean, I understand the type of film that this is a slasher film from the 80s. This movie
1988.
was... Yeah, this movie was filmed in 1988. And according to our in-universe timeline, this is probably mid-90s, although the fashion...
Is way definitely 80s.
Yeah, definitely 80s. Not really tapped into the, I guess the grunge
Yeah.
era.
Yeah.
So you could, but the in-universe timeline that we've produced, not official, not canon, is that this is probably like 95
Yeah,
or
it has
something
to
like
be.
that. Yeah. Because like we said like 91, 92 was the last one.
I think so.
And it's probably been a few years because, I mean, his body's all decomposed. And,
You can see his spine. Now, that's another good thing about this movie. The Jason look is actually pretty unique and pretty cool.
and scary.
yeah, like you can see his spine. Billy pointed out at one point you can kind of like see
His teeth.
his teeth,
Out
like
of his
his
side.
skull.
Yeah.
Like they made him look pretty terrifying.
Yeah. But as for like things I liked about this film, like the movie quality wasn't terrible. I think it might have just been my internet connection or something, but there was a few times where it kind of looked really grainy, but I think that was just my internet connection.
I don't know. It could have been this movie.
It could have been the movie. I don't know. The story was just convoluted. That was my biggest problem. Is the story was so just full of shit that I just couldn't get entertained by it. But I will say that it's not as bad as the last film was. And the reason why is just because the last film I just hated it.
Well, you were disappointed. This one, you knew what you were getting in for. Garbage.
I guess so. It's
But it's still not the
desensitized
worst.
through previous
not the
exposures
worst.
and experiences.
In my opinion, the next one is the very worst of the series.
Yeah.
An all-time low.
So what's the things you hated about the film?
As much as I love it. Non-decomposed water zombie dad, dude. I mean,
Yeah, that's the worst part of the whole film.
what the hell?
Just
Where did he come
introduced-
from?
Well, it just introduced a whole different.
Deus Ex non-decomposed water zombie dad. Like, she resurrected the dead? Is that a power she has?
Well, she did it to Jason, but
Well, she
for
didn't
some
resur-
reason
she
he
didn't really
decomposed
resur-
despite being a eternal monster.
zombie.
But her dad never decomposed. Like,
Maybe she didn't. Maybe she brought his spirit into like physical form. But again, that's just as scary of a power. She can bring spirits from the underworld into a physical form.
To work for her?
Yeah. Dude, the fact that we never see or hear from her again is very scary.
Yeah.
Way more scary than Jason.
Man.
We hope you've watched it. We hope you enjoyed this batshit crazy movie.
We've still got to do one more thing, Jason.
Oh, that's right.
James.
Jason.
I almost called you Jason. All right, I got my trusty notebook here with all our Friday the 13th ratings. So we're rating out of 10, 1 to 10. James, what would you rate this film?
All right. If I have to pick what I would rate it, let's think. Let me think back on some of my other reviews.
Yeah.
I've given some highs. I've given some pretty lows.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to put this one. It's not part 6 low, but it's not part 5 high.
I kind of miss Tommy.
6.5. 6?
6?
6.
You'll say a 6?
Yeah, because it's batshit crazy and fun. Like, if you go into the movie knowing that what you're going to get is just go, Jason, go, batshit crazy, zombie dad, telekinetic, Jason versus Carrie. Like, when you know you're getting Jason versus Carrie.
Well, okay, I'm just going to say, when I came into this, when I brought up Amazon to watch this movie, and we watched it, I was not expecting non-decomposed water zombie dad.
No one was. No one was expecting that.
Yeah. Make a good song, though.
Yeah, it would. It would make a good song.
So out of this movie, I would rate it a 4 out of 10 because I hate it. And I hope that whenever
you realize you're
300 years
worse
from now.
view than you did the last one.
Yeah.
Wow. So hold on, let me get this right. You're telling me that even though you've said on this podcast that part 6 is worse, you're going to give this one a lower rating.
Yes.
Why?
Okay, the film overall was more enjoyable than the 6th. But the fact that the father was brought back at the end immediately deducted like 2 points from it. Because I'm telling you,
so this movie would have gotten like a 6.
This movie would have got a 6 if it would have just been the chain that came out of that water instead of attached to the body of her dad. She might not have realized that there was a
chain down there. All she saw was like Jason coming up.
She is telepathic. She can barely tell the future. She can manipulate objects with her brain. I don't know if she can tell the
future or if she just has a link between herself and Jason.
She can bend fire.
That's true.
I'm just saying, like, she can do all of these things. If she's got some sort of, like, psychic link with Jason, then she knows that the reason he was at the bottom of that lake was that he was chained to a rock.
Cracking his skull like he's done to people. Why didn't she just make his head explode?
She could have, probably. That would have been a lot better of an ending. Well, I don't know.
Watching Jason's head explode would have been made for a sequel. More enjoyable.
I mean, you can't have a exploded head Jason in the next 3 films. So
just a body with no head. That would be weird. We thought she was going to explode Rich Bitch's head for a second. Remember that?
Yeah.
We didn't talk about. There's a scene where like Rich Bitch makes fun of Tina by taking one of the other guys and putting his jacket on backwards and then folding the sleeves and go, "Is this how your jackets look at your mental institute?" And everyone laughs at her. And then all of a sudden Tina loses it and like
the pearls on her necklace
start choking Rich Bitch with her own pearl necklace, and then it just explodes.
Yeah.
But for a second, we were like, is she going to make her head explode? That'd be really fucking cool. If her head just went boom. People got covered in blood, but no. All right, 4 out of 10. I can't believe you think part 6 is worse than this, but you're giving this one a lower rating.
Yeah. Well, it's just because the overall feel of 6 was just horrible. But this one
was at least funny.
Well, this one, it was just the ending that ruined it.
All right.
And it's like, you don't give me a movie that's, an hour and a half long for me to sit through, which we said it wasn't very long, but still, it's a long thing to sit through and you're not enjoying yourself. And then the ending, they just pretty much gut punch you with this random plot twist that didn't make any sense and just came out of left field. I just was super disappointed with that.
From the get-go, you were not into this. Like, with that beginning intro music, you were like, oh my god, how long is this music? It's annoying.
It's super annoying. Like, we listened to the whole credits, and I was almost about to, like, fast forward through it, but it turned out we'd already listened to all of it at that point. I was like, what a waste of my time.
You were upset from the get-go.
Like, at least they tried with the other theme songs. This one was just terrible.
Telling you, man, part 8's the worst. You're gonna give that one a 1.
Yeah, that's why we're not gonna hit you with that outro theme from this movie because it also sucks. So we're gonna give you a little treat here at the end. So if you listen all the way to the end, make sure to comment on our Facebook page what we tell you to. Also,
because what we're gonna do for the end here is we worked on a song. We've created a song for this movie. It's a rough cut. It's a rough edit.
Yeah, it's gonna sound like terrible. It's just terrible.
But we think we got a hit on our hands.
Yeah,
let us know. Yeah, let us know if you want us to work on it, develop it into a full song, and we'll see what we can do. And
if you haven't already, follow us on Podbean at the J. Ram and Billy Show. We post all kinds of different content. We also, in our podcast description, we have a link to our Facebook page. Give us a like, and also to our YouTube channel. Subscribe to us. We're going to have some new Let's Play videos up. Mm-hmm. So definitely keep in touch with us and keep following us. We're going to have another podcast come out this week, and then we'll be back on our normal schedule of every Thursday following this. So we thank you all for listening to us, and we hope you have a great night.
Without further ado, this was J-Ram.
And this is Billy.
And this was the J-Ram and Billy Show.
Now let's jam. 1, 2, 3, 4.
What you gonna do when you're all alone? And Jason Voorhees is staring at your soul. Non-decomposing water zombie dead. Non-decomposing water zombie dead. Non-decomposing water zombie dead. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. What you gonna do when you're all alone? There's one thing that'll save you, I know. Non-decomposing water zombie dead. Non-decomposing water zombie dead. Non-decomposing water zombie dead. Oh yeah. Non-decomposing water zombie dead.
So if you listen all the way to the end, make sure that you go to our Facebook.
And tell us if you want us to keep working on this. Tell us if you think it's a hit. I think we got something here.
And also comment, non-decomposing water zombie dad.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening.